I've also found that my personal style has become more relaxed over time.
Right.
And I know you have this concept of the gentle geek, is it? Or gentle nerd? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your gentle dork phase and how did you get into that?
So I first started really getting into men's style after reading The Art of Manliness. I think a lot of guys kind of got introduced into a lot of the men's space 2009, 2010 from Brett and Art of Manliness. And, I found his articles about shaving with a straight razor or safety razor and all of that. And it really kind of brought that in. I've always been pretty interested in clothing. Like I grew up as a punk rock kid and, like the green Liberty spikes and the battle jacket and all of that. And so, I mean, it was the perfect storm of my interest in clothing and fashion in general. A lot of what Brett was talking about, and then really kind of like the influx of like Mad Men and how everybody was in the Mad Men era of suiting and everything else. And I went hard. Like I was buying vintage fedoras and wearing driving gloves and wearing suits at work. I worked at a bank and, even the VPs were walking around in polo shirts and khakis, and I was wearing 3-piece suits and just thought I was totally killing it. I think a lot of it was that, the 20th century relationship with style was that more formal meant better. And if you wanted to dress better, if you wanted to have more style, then, if everybody's in t-shirt and jeans, then you would be in a button-up and khakis. Or if everybody's in a button-up and khakis, then you would go to a suit. And so there was this very kind of like limited paradigm of formality meant good style. And obviously we've seen a big cultural shift and move away from that. But I see a lot of guys who are not developing their masculinity in any other regard when it comes to their presence and their gravitas, their ability to stand up for themselves and hold good boundaries or ask for their needs to be met. When it comes to their ability to pursue adventure or be assertive or take chances, they're not developing any of those things, but they dress like Cary Grant and think that by putting on the Cary Grant costume, it's going to all of a sudden get them perceived and treated like, and in a way it's going to help them embody the masculinity of somebody like Cary Grant or Frank Sinatra or whatever else. And the problem is rather than the clothing coming in and making up that deficit, it actually just shines a brighter light on the disparity that exists. And so you end up looking worse as opposed to it making up for it and making you look better.
It's interesting because when I started my my program and my community and doing more coaching, I thought everybody was going to come to me for style advice. But what I actually had was guys that, as you say, dressed like Cary Grant, but realized, I don't feel like him though. People don't treat me like that. I don't speak like that. I haven't had a date in 3 years. So we ended up working on everything else. And I think that, it can be maybe a lever for some people that gets them into other forms of self-development. And it can be a confidence boost as well.
Totally.
I suppose, when does somebody know that they are in this gentle dork category? What are some things that people might say to them?
Yeah, that's the problem is they don't. And a lot of times, even for me in my own gentle dork phase, I totally thought I was killing it. And it wasn't until 5 years later that I started developing these other aspects of myself that I could look back at pictures and go, oh man, that was so bad. Like I was just, the suit was a costume. And so I don't want to be too disparaging of it, because if it functions like it did for me and like it does for a lot of your guys in your community, where it's the gateway to other versions of self-development, then it's great. And it should be done that way. But if you find yourself thinking, I don't need to develop myself in other arenas because I dress well, or you're overly focused on just your appearance, then that's when I think you get stuck in that gentle dork territory.
Yeah. What would you say, if somebody is in that position now, what would you say should be the next step for them on their journey? What's the new area to focus on if they're not doing anything else?
Go to the gym, and even better if you can, train a combat sport.